Will Notre Dame make the college football playoff in 2024? It certainly looks like they can do that. But to do it, they've actually got to deliver. The last 2 years for Notre Dame have been relatively disappointing. They have not lived up to the expectations under Marcus Freeman. Yes, he is 19-7 in the last 2 years with the Fighting Irish. But they failed to make a New Year's Six bowl game. They have failed to make the college football playoff. They had high hopes in both 2022 and 2023, and relatively slow starts to both seasons kind of derailed them for the rest of the year. Winning 8 regular season games in 2022, starting 0-2 with that loss to Marshall. And in 2023, had very high hopes, but lost to Ohio State with 1 second left in South Bend. Got blown out against Louisville, and then later on lost to Clemson. Finished with 9 regular season wins, but did win their bowl game to clinch a double-digit win season. All the pieces are there now for Notre Dame to make a playoff run, especially with the playoff expanding to 12 teams. And the guy that could be the difference maker, the X factor that could lead them there and get them over the hump is Riley Leonard, the Duke transfer quarterback who could be the entire difference maker, the entire reason Notre Dame exceeds expectations, or where I say meets them, or once again falls short. You dive into the numbers here. Riley Leonard, if you've watched him during his time at Duke, you'd say, yeah, he's good, maybe he's not that good. And I would say you are wrong right there. This is the second year in a row that Notre Dame is bringing in an ACC transfer quarterback. Last year had playoff aspirations with Sam Hartman. A lot of us believed that was the missing piece. He was a truly elite quarterback that we thought could get Notre Dame over the hump to the college football playoff. And he played very well, over 2,600 yards, completed over 63% of his passes, threw 24 touchdowns to just 8 interceptions, but 5 of those 8 interceptions came against Louisville and Clemson. Obviously, Notre Dame's playoff hopes were over when they had lost to Clemson. They'd already lost to Ohio State and Louisville, 2 losses, they were out, but still, 5 of their 8 coming in 2 of their biggest games of the year. Now, in comes Riley Leonard, a guy who I'm not going to say right now is necessarily better than Sam Hartman, but his game is certainly different than Sam Hartman's. His way he plays offense is certainly much more different than Sam Hartman. He's a guy that's thrown for over 2,900 yards and 20 touchdowns in 2022, also rushed for nearly 700 yards and 13 touchdowns. Battled a lot of injuries last year, was injured actually in Notre Dame's victory over the Blue Devils, and really never fully recovered. He tried to come back, got injured again. So 2023, he was riddled with injuries. But if this guy can stay healthy, he's going to give this Notre Dame offense an extra element. Something that we really haven't seen from Notre Dame in a very, very long time. In his career at Duke, Leonard threw for over 4,400 yards, 24 touchdowns, just 10 interceptions, and rushed for over 1,200 yards and 19 touchdowns. He is a dangerous dual-threat quarterback that, once again, gives Notre Dame the extra element. Last year, Hartman wasn't dual-threat. You didn't see Hartman taking off and scrambling for 20, 25 yards on a given play. Maybe every now and then, but that was not his game. That's not what he was expected to do. Leonard can do that. He can come in here and kind of run an RPO-style offense that's obviously taking over college football and could give Notre Dame that extra edge to make the college football playoff. Again, this year, guys, the playoff expands to 12 teams. There is no longer an excuse to really miss out for a team like Notre Dame that always has playoff aspirations and playoff expectations. One loss for Notre Dame now does not derail their season. In the past, they were independent. They'd say one loss, they might have a hard time getting into the 4-team playoff based on the committee because they don't have a conference championship and things like that. One loss, assuming it's to a good team, does not derail the season. 2 losses, even, for a lot of teams across the country, maybe does not derail your season and end your playoff hopes, depending on who those losses are to and when you suffer those losses. Notre Dame is in a very, very good spot. Riley Leonard is the difference maker. And another guy that's going to be a difference maker that can help get the best and the most out of Riley Leonard is the new offensive coordinator in South Bend, and Mike Denbrock. He obviously had multiple stints at Notre Dame in the past, but this last year, Denbrock led who? The LSU Tigers as their offensive coordinator. He led who? Jaden Daniels, the Heisman Trophy winner. At LSU last season, Denbrock led the #1 offense in the entire country, averaging 46.4 points per game, over 547 yards per game. And again, Jaden Daniels at quarterback was the Heisman Trophy winner, played a similar game to Riley Leonard with his dual threat capability. Daniels threw for over 3,800 yards, rushed for over 1,100 yards, and had 50 total touchdowns. If you're a Notre Dame fan and that doesn't get you excited, I don't know what's wrong with you. I'm not saying Riley Leonard is the next Jaden Daniels, but I'm saying when it comes to skill set, when you look at both players as a passer, when you look at both players with their dual threat capability, he can get similar numbers out of Riley Leonard this season. And if you can get a 3,000-yard passing year out of Riley Leonard and nearly 1,000 rushing yards out of him this year, even 800 rushing yards this year, Notre Dame will be going to the college football playoff. I feel very confident in that. Why do we say that? Because I understand that one team, it's not just the quarterback. I get it. Notre Dame has one of the best defenses in the entire country. They were elite last year, top 5 unit nationally on the defensive side of the ball. What else would you expect from Marcus Freeman? They have a very strong front seven once again, and the anchor, the leader of the defense, is returning. Surprised a lot of people. All-American safety Xavier Watts coming back for another year with Notre Dame. This is going to be another top 5, top 10 unit in the entire country. So you take a strong defense wins championships, pair it with one of the better quarterbacks in the country, with an offensive coordinator that's one of the best in the country, paired with a very deep running back room, paired with a wide receiver core that has a lot of young potential there, but also added a veteran in Chris Mitchell from Florida International, who had over 1,100 yards and 8-9 touchdowns last year. This is a good team for Notre Dame. And furthermore, the schedule, guys, is significantly easier than it was last year. You look at Notre Dame last year. They had to play Ohio State. They went to Duke. They went to Louisville. They had to play USC. They went to Clemson. A lot of tough games in there, and even a handful of those trap games. That NC State game early in the year was a trap game. This year, Notre Dame, they only have a couple of tough games. They opened the season at Texas A&M, which will be an interesting reunion. Riley Leonard going up against his former coach in Mike Elko, who is now the new head man down in College Station. Playing in front of the 12th man is not easy for anybody. That'll be a really good test to see what this Notre Dame team is made of, what this Texas A&M team is made of. But at Texas A&M in week 1, but they get to host Louisville, they get to host Florida State. I mean, some of their biggest games of the year are at home, and their other 2 tough road games are at Georgia Tech and at USC. Georgia Tech improving, USC a down year in 2023. We don't really know what to expect of them in 2024, but typically Notre Dame playing very well against their bitter rivals. This is a very favorable schedule. This easily, looking at it now, could be a 10-win regular season for Notre Dame. They went from 8 wins in 2022, 9 wins in 2023. Will they go to 10 wins or more in 2024? If they can hit that 10-win mark, they will be in playoff discussion. If they hit that 11-win mark, they will be in the college football playoff, and a lot of it will be because of their quarterback play, the star transfer, and Riley Leonard, who could finally be the missing piece when it comes to Notre Dame's playoff and national title hopes. So guys, thank you so much for watching us here at the Gridiron Expert on YouTube. We'll have more on Notre Dame here in the coming months. We're going to do schedule previews. We're going to do predictions. We'll be breaking them down in deeper detail, but something to keep your eye on as we progress through this offseason. Notre Dame, a top 10 team to start the year, always in playoff contention, have fallen short the last few years, but signs are pointing to the fact they will not fall short in 2024. But as always, thank you so much for watching. Please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and check out everything down in the description below. Exclusive content over on thegridironexpert.com to help you get through this offseason. We're going to have nonstop content for you right here on the channel as well. All the more reason to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification button so you don't miss out on any future videos right here on the channel. And once again, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on the Gridiron Expert.
Yeah.